All right, guys, so we're back. Another episode of Real Estate on Record. We got a special guest today. We got Marlene Atzori. And she is the regional advisor, cross-border banking, RBC, GTA. Again, she's a big help with us. She's helping all our Canadian clients establish mortgages in the United States right now, and also credit cards, which is needed especially when you're down there migrating. You're going to need a credit card, right? So you're helping out all our clients right now, which is awesome. We spent the whole day together today. We did the RBC event, which was huge. I think that was pretty cool. It was like being on ESPN Sportscast. We had 4 teleprompters. I got the suntan from literally the lights that we had in that studio. It was awesome.
It was fun.
Really, thank you for the opportunity. I think that was cool. What a great experience that was, for sure.
Well, thank you for having me here too. I'm really excited.
Awesome. Yeah. If you want to talk a little bit about yourself and how you're helping our clients, I know we have one client now that we're dealing with. Obviously, we won't mention names, but you're taking them from Canada into the U.S. and getting them all. I got him pre-qualified already for his loan. He texted me. He's all excited. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, so let me just start off with a little bit about myself. So as a regional advisor for cross-border banking, and it's actually banking beyond borders is the way I look at it. I under RBC for a few years now, 30 plus years, and I'm an accredited financial planner. And I use these resources and my expertise in helping not only like the field, the branches, realtors, and Canadians alike in banking on both sides and making sure that everyone has what we don't know is what we don't know. And I want to ensure that everyone, all Canadians, are aware of what we have. We're the only institution in North America that can actually help move money immediately, because there's no such thing as e-transfers in the United States.
ACH.
Yes. Americans use third-party companies like Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. And yes, you can. If you have a U.S. Actual card, a SIM card or phone, you can download the Venmo on these apps. Yeah. And RBC Bank is a U.S. domiciled institution in the United States.
What does that mean? What does domiciled mean?
So that means it is a U.S. bank. So it is a U.S. bank, just like RBC Canada is a Canadian bank. RBC Bank USA is in the U.S., but we are the only institution that is covered under one umbrella. And what I mean by that is we can see both sides of the table. And we are able to help Canadians get established, to your point, not only providing them their first bank account in the United States, their first U.S. credit card, and not a Canadian one. Like most of the big 5 banks here have a U.S. credit card, but that's a Canadian card with U.S. currency. What we are offering all Canadians is a U.S. domiciled, meaning that it's from a U.S. bank, as if you were walking into a branch in New York City and opening it up. You can actually walk into any branch in Canada. You do not have to be an RBC client. You need to be Canadian. And we can open this up within 15 minutes.
Wow.
Now imagine this.
As if you were opening it up in the U.S.
As if you don't have to fly.
Because we had that issue because we're with a different, obviously, bank, and we had to open up a joint account together, and I literally had to fly down to Florida to open it.
Yeah.
Oh, heck
and a lot of our clients, and this is why our Marlene now is part of our email segments that we send out to clients. As soon as you do a deal, it's one of the 6 important emails that we send out like simultaneous, because again, Marlene was introduced to me through a client. It's like, hey, you don't even got to cross the border. You can just do it here. And you talked to them about that. And then you said, you have interest in Florida as well, like a property there. So we got along very well. And it's the same thing where now I don't have to send clients to drive to Buffalo.
No. And that's one thing. Yeah. One thing is I'll say,
and they could come right into Woodbridge, right?
Yeah. They could come right into Vaughan.
That's where all our clients are coming from.
Where do you live? Where would you like to go? I've had clients that are going down to Florida, and most of it's from this coast, but we had clients that were from BC and saying, well, I'm going to go back. And one thing I want to make sure is that you're with that client. You don't want them to go back and not know what we could have been doing for them. And again, a Canadian will say, well, I'm going to do my mortgage, I'm going to buy this place, and then hopefully when I get down there, I'm going to go into a bank and open up a bank account. Why? We can do everything here.
Yeah.
Let's get you started. Let's start a foundation. Like anything else, you need a strong foundation. All right, so we can open up that bank account and that credit card within 15 minutes. That's it.
It's amazing.
15 minutes, and again, those cards are mailed to either Canada. If the client is saying, oh, this is great, I'm going to go down and I have to make a deal, I'm going tomorrow, we can send those cards anywhere in the United States.
I don't want to show you
Canada.
the color in all these colors. We're going to turn them blue. I'm not going to show the camera.
It's
but
blue and
you
black.
see-
Blue and black. Right? So,
we got to turn them blue, Marlene.
yeah, but you know what? Sometimes clients will say to me, well, you don't have brick and mortar there. You know, I need to go physically into a branch. How am I going to move money? Well, did you know that we can actually move through my app or calling in, I can actually move $1 million from Canada to US immediately for free.
What?
Yeah.
One transaction?
I could pick up the phone, call our Royal Direct agent.
Immediately.
Same time.
No wire transfer.
In fact, no
Do you
wire
know the
transfer.
other bank I was dealing with is $100K a day? I had to make because we moved
a wire.
a lot of money over, and it was $100K a day. I had to make the same call and go through the same process
Yeah.
to move money, which was
Oh
So
my
you have to
goodness.
you
call.
could have just did one call.
Normally, the agent could do increments of 100,000, probably. That's
Yeah.
up to a maximum of 4. But then again, if it's exceeding that, they call us, and they will be able
Yeah.
to. That's a
Because at
million.
times
So
we
that's
moved, obviously 7 figures and seven
Yes.
figures and 7 figures, but it was like it was again make that call.
like you can always wire it, but wire would be because remember a lot of the currencies that you wire, because many clients also come to us when they're traveling anywhere in the world because of the benefits of their credit cards, which we can have a whole session on that. But to have that ability, you're making a deal, you need that down payment to go through, and you need to put that to escrow, whatever needs to be done, and we can do that. The client could do that. They don't need a third party. They pick up that phone and do it.
So I'm not excited about this. Because, but I'm serious.
Well,
I'm
you're
being
excited
genuine.
because you felt the pain
But it's
in real life.
The whole system
Yeah.
was a disaster. And then, so how come I didn't know about this before and I chose another bank? And I went through that whole system, maybe because of bricks and mortar section of it. And I didn't realize, like, even, again, I told you about my primary residence where we have an RBC loan attached to it. That's our house that we own with my family that I'm raising. It has an RBC loan, right? But I remember the other Canadian bank that we're dealing with, I won't mention names, but ultimately, 6 months prior to occupancy, we went through the process. These guys left me like, I think a month but prior to occupancy. I was almost had to pay the whole house in cash and figure something else later. And then I dealt with RBC at the time in North Carolina. They hooked me up with a lady down there, and she ended up doing the deal.
Yes.
And it was no problem. And even give you a small line of credit as well. It was like, do you want more money? I'm like, yeah.
So
Give me as much as you can give me.
Sure.
I love that.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's visual, right? Because you see the brick and mortar down there. We used to have brick and mortar. We sold it to PNC about 15 years ago.
Doesn't pay to have the brick and mortar?
No, because clients were not really transacting. So with your mobile app, you can actually deposit up to $25,000 checks. If the check exceeds 25, you just call it in, and you can mobile deposit. We had a client in Florida, sold their place. They had a check for $400,000, and they said, okay, what do I do now? I don't want to bring this with me in my wallet, and I don't want to put it in the ATM. In fact, we have 55,000 ATMs across all 50 states that you can actually deposit the money. So let me just take a step back. We all know on the Canadian side, if you look at the ATM machines throughout Canada, you see Plus system, right? That icon Plus system.
Yeah.
Well, we have a contract with All Points. And that's like the Plus system. All Points has a contract with all the banks. You can go into a Target and see the word All Points. And those are free ATMs where clients can withdraw, as well as some of them, you can find it on the locator through the web, All Point deposits, and even through RBC site, and you can deposit those checks. And in Canada, when our clients are coming in to deposit and trying to do it on the Canadian side, there's like a 15-day hold, and there might not be, it's even longer. When any of our clients, any Canadians deposit those checks, it's a 24-hour hold.
Sorry, what's the icon again? Is it?
It's All Points.
So if I see an ATM with an All Points,
Free withdrawals, and you can actually
And
go on
deposit.
the app. The deposits, not all machines have the
Okay.
capabilities,
How
but
do you
like
know
in
if you
Florida,
can deposit?
you have to go on the app.
Oh, okay.
Or if there's a PNC, all those machines of those PNCs, the clients can deposit a check.
Got it.
What I advise them to always do is sign the back of the check like you normally do, take a picture of it, deposit, and you will see it's a 24-hour hold with a $200 release, which is huge. And the client needs that release to come out, and they need to move that assets. It's a great feature. But here's something else you should know. Many Canadians, we all know what happened with the hurricanes.
Yeah.
And some of them will say, listen, I have some workers going in there, and I have to pay them cash. So they come into the branches here in Canada, and they're going to carry large amounts of money. I don't know about you, but I don't want to carry that money going across the border.
Absolutely not.
So we can tell them, listen, you have a U.S. domiciled, U.S. credit card. Did you know that you can go into a mom and pop shop? And by the way, I do practice what I preach. And I went into a branch in Florida, and I presented my Canadian passport and my credit card, and I said, I need a cash advance. You can get $5,000 cash advance right away. And she looked at my passport. Sorry, we don't accept Canadian credit cards. I said, no, my ID is Canadian. My credit card's American. I need a cash advance. I only took out $2,000. And I immediately paid, so there was no fees to that. But if you don't, there is fees that accrued on the credit cards, right, on cash advances every day. So you can actually go on your mobile app, call the telephone banking, move the money over, but you can walk out of that branch with $5,000 and go pay your contractor. So you don't have to worry about carrying the cash and then move it back into your bank account right away. And that flexibility is amazing. So either you're renovating, you're closing a deal. I need everyone to know that we are not looking at what your primary bank is, regardless of where you bank in Canada. RBC Bank leads the industry with helping Canadians do banking on both sides of the border, right? And that's really important to note, right? So
no, I think it's eye-opening as well. Just again, we're always looking for better ways. We're not stuck in anything. If there's a better way, we're going to replace the old way. So, even with again, when my client said, you don't got to cross the border and sign on American soil, I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. And I realized because the other bank it's more of an affiliate. It's different. It's
two separate
entities.
Until you get there. And then they tell you there's affiliation, but there's
not.
affiliation.
Yeah. So this is
this is better.
So
it's a one-stop shop.
So imagine that client that, like you said, going in there and they want to buy something and they say to you okay, so what next? What do I need to do? How do I get established that way? And it's just 15 minutes at the branch. And I prefer, yes, you can do this online. Yes, you can call it in. But to avoid any hiccups and to get that proper advice and having that, as I like to call it, that white glove service, it takes 15 minutes. Regardless of where you bank, you go in, 2 pieces of ID, we open it up for you.
And do our clients have to meet with you directly, or?
They meet with any branch of their choice. And they come in and say, I need to open up a cross-border bank account. They create a profile. Again, you do not need to be an RBC client. You need to be Canadian.
We should open up a few accounts, even for me. Can you do checking savings and you do credit
So
cards?
here's something. We can do checking. We have 2 checking accounts. And
I'm also a client. What's that,
yes.
that thing?
So wait a second. Yeah. Also, but any one of us, because we're going to talk about mortgages, any one of us that has a mortgage in the United States through RBC will get free premium banking for the life of the credit facility. That's unlimited transactions, free banking.
Let's just rewind.
Yeah. So
no account fees, like monthly account fees?
No account fees.
What?
None.
Wow.
What do you mean? So sorry.
So even if you open up a basic, no, none of that. So we have 2 checking accounts, right? So we do have promotions going on right now, depending on, we have one that holds a minimum balance that will get you free bank account for, up to 3 years. Or you have the free bank account. Either one, the one that's 10 withdrawals a month, one's unlimited, they'll have free for 1 year. After that, there's fees on those accounts. However, it doesn't matter which one they open up. Even if they open up a direct checking, as they call 10 withdrawals, because they really don't need much, they end up getting a mortgage with us, it's automatically upgraded to premium checking, and it's free. Even if they if they refinance, because you might have clients, in fact, 65% of Canadians, actually more, have existing properties that have no liens on it. It's actually 80% from the National Association of Realtors.
80% of?
Yeah. Canadians have made purchases in the U.S. in cash.
Oh, wow.
That means the U.S. government thinks it's just cash, but it could have been refinancing their property here.
Yeah.
So now your clients that have paid in cash have this, what we call sleepy equity, that we can tap into and help them, especially because of the way the dollar is, and they can actually tap into it, get that refinanced, maybe for some, projects.
Cash flowing
No,
investment.
no. What they're looking for, well,
Yeah.
we can do different things with that. But clients that are doing this, maybe they're looking at, they have assessments, with the all these condos. The HOAs are going up. There's large assessments going up. I know I have a condo.
Yours are going up?
Oh yeah,
Are you
and
on
I have
the ocean?
assessment. Yeah, well, close to it. But I have assessments. And how do you come up with
Is that part
30,000?
of that building that went down in North
Correct.
Miami?
Yes.
What's the amount?
Well, everyone's different. Some of them are 20,000.
Each unit?
Yeah, some are 30, depending on the size of the unit. So what happens to that Canadian that has that property that's free and clear? Well, we can refinance that. We'll pre-approve them within 48 hours. Refinance that and bring that equity to where they need it to go and to flow. So let's say that client does that, and now their line of credit is at 0. It's still open. It's there for them. It's still open. They'll get free premium banking.
Wow.
As long as the credit facility is open. So yeah, it's quite neat.
You guys got a lot of products. I didn't realize how many products you have for Canadians there. It's actually a super service.
Yeah, we offer it to the personal and business.
Like, how did I know about all this? Let's just say for a consumer that's looking for banking, again, just for argument's sake, like how don't I know all about this? I know now, like the target marketing in my phone is RBC everything. So on Instagram, Facebook's always like RBC ads on everything, which is great, right? But like all these services, how come
Well, I'm glad I met you.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. No,
Yes.
I'm going to promote the shit out of them because if it's going to benefit my clients, make things easier and be more streamlined, it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's another tool.
During the geopolitical environment that we have been in, the marketing aspect has been quiet, but we are there, and the momentum is growing. The stats do not lie. And what I say is, please don't look at necessarily at the mainstream media. Look at even Stats Canada will tell you, the exodus that's going in.
Oh, yeah.
And I go to credible sources. The National Association of Realtors will come up with their next report. They do it between March and April, and they'll come up with the next report that will be coming out in July that will show you the stats. And consistently, Canadians, yes, we're the number one foreign buyers, and we're also the number one foreign sellers. So again, we need to ensure that we are going out there talking to the Canadian consumer and letting them know. So that is my job. My job is going to the market and in-house to the branches to educate the staff, to feel comfortable to talk about that, because if we don't, that's where is the frustration. Why didn't I know that? Look at the amount of money that I've spent on this. And it's understanding, who do we talk to? You have clients that are packing up and going. That's it. We're moving permanently.
Yeah.
We also have clients that their children are going to study in the United States, right? I should have done this myself, where I'm paying for the rent over $2,000 when I could have bought a property for $100,000 and now continue using that as an investment opportunity.
That's why I'm trying to get my daughter to go to Alabama so I can buy a house.
Oh, there you go. Start that. Oh, there's a lot of wonderful places, right?
It's great.
Depending on those university cities.
We want
and
a country home.
Yeah, well, as Canadians, we think of university towns, and I'm just saying locally, we're going to St. Catharines, we're going to, Guelph, and we're looking at that, and it's tapped out. Well, if you're looking for an investor opportunity, that's where you look at. And there's where we've seen, and we talked about it today, we've seen New York, Ohio, and those are the university towns that are looking for the investments. And in Florida, Southwest Florida, they have
Florida State,
St.
Florida
Pete's
Atlantic.
They have so many things.
Miami U.
Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah.
So there's opportunities to invest in those pockets.
Our client, our mutual, clients. So his daughter is down in Miami U, and they're looking to buy property. They actually flew in last week and played golf with them. They're looking for properties because, again, the kids are at university just adjacent down there, and it makes sense.
Okay, so they only need 20% down.
I know.
And 20% down can come from their property here in Canada.
They're already an RBC.
And remember, regardless of where they bank, we're here to help the Canadian. We're not going to look and say, "Oh, you don't bank with us," like that's.
No, you guys are smart. You're doing it right.
We're here to help
but you're
support.
super servicing. So super servicing is you're automatically going to win. You won me over. It's hard to win me over on stuff. I started hearing all this stuff. It just makes sense. Even just the cross-border stuff, like not crossing the border to sign on American soil, is massive. It's huge because it's so inconvenient, right? And regarding, I know the commercial side is a little bit different, right?
Yes. So we offer business bank accounts.
If I had an LLC, can I open up a bank account there?
You can open up the bank account, absolutely. So people that
Can I
use
run a business? Like, let's say,
you
like
can run
Treviso Realty LLC, can they have a
absolutely
bank account and pay payroll and everything out of it?
absolutely.
Okay.
That is where we are finding that we have grown. I don't want to say 300%. Many of depending on the business, you might need a U.S. domicile. They're going to pay you. It has to go into a U.S. domicile. And I keep saying that, meaning it's a United States bank
Right.
account. And again, you don't have to go to the U.S. Many banks, all the banks will tell you, we have to go get it notarized. You have to cross to Buffalo to get everything signed and insured. No, it's not a 15-minute process. It's a matter of gathering everything that we have here, and we are signing that attestation. We're gathering all that information. We upload it, send it to the U.S., and it could be as fast as 7 business days. You have a U.S. account.
So fast.
And
Wow.
it's perfect. You can pay the IRS, you can pay ACH payments, payroll, creditors. We have so many businesses will give you a U.S. Visa debit card. And what I mean by that, it is not an actual Visa card, so we don't offer a Visa card for business. What we do is we offer you that debit card that acts as a Visa card that you can actually send to your merchants and whatnot. But for lending, we do not offer business lending.
Okay.
But, there's a huge but. We have a partnership, and it's part of our affiliation. It was City National. So City National helps our clients. And it's not saying, by the way, Mike, here you go, call them. We'll help every step of the way. We will connect you with the right individual, and they will take the lead from that. And it's really a white glove service.
And secondary property ownership as well. Like Canadians are snowbirds, rather. We can deal with that. Obviously, that's not an LLC. That's going to be in a primary name, like a personal name, rather. Those are easily done, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you like, I can just talk to you. So we can hold a mortgage under a personal name, a trust, or a hold co, depending on the situation. These are residential.
Yeah.
So we do not do construction mortgages or finance land or mobile.
Okay. But you can finance under an LLC? If I open up Zalunardo Holdings?
Yes, we go by case dealing, and it's not a rental property per se.
But primary, okay.
Yeah.
Just
So-
you're creating a shield.
We can do it under primary or secondary home. Primary being that's my primary residence. Secondary will be someone like myself that has a property down there that use it for personal use. Even that in that umbrella, it's 20% down, and you could rent it, okay, providing the rental does not exceed 10 months. So meaning it is for personal use, whether I'm there for 3 months out of the year. I have to be there 2 months out of the year. It could be 3 days here, 5 days here, but it is not 100% rental. We finance investment properties that can be held in those structures, but when we are doing that, you need a minimum of $25,000, depending, and we all know this, depending on the state and county and the risk factor of the property, we might require a larger down payment from that. But other than that, we pre-approve anyone that comes to us. We pre-approve them within 48 hours. Again, no other bank does this. We will meet with the client. We will pre-approve them. We will give them a letter to give to you so they can go happy shopping that shows, and it's good for 120 days, that you are good to go for this amount.
And that's good at any major builder. Like, they'll recognize it.
Any realtor that takes that, right? So that's understanding that is something.
This is huge. I mean,
The only thing is we're spoiled as Canadians, because I can get a mortgage here in Canada within 5 business days, advanced, ready to go, right?
it's wild.
So the only thing that we try to, and we hope that you also share with your clients,
30 days.
you have to, it should be 45 to 60-day closing.
Fair enough. Yes.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
Don't lose that deal.
Yeah.
And again, Canadians go into, and I know I went into a panic mode. And I said, I need to have this like fast close. No, firm deal, because I can do it.
Yeah.
But let's close 45 days.
Yes.
Because we're at the mercy. The bank is at the mercy of
Title company, yeah.
appraisals.
Yes.
Sorry, this is where I lose my voice.
Yeah, and that's what I prepare Canadian clients as well. It's like it's not Canadian fast. We had one of our like our DSCO owned lenders, like
Yeah.
investment banker. down as well, and he talks about this like it's not 5 days like you're used to. It's like 30 to 45 days, and that's normal. They can probably knock it out in 21 days, depending
on the situation. Yeah,
but
but
I mean,
you need to set the stage.
You always, even for us, when we're closing deals, I'm like, let's not this 45, 60 days. At least we got time to kind of like add and correct and do things and make a nice smooth transition after, right? So
when you do speak with us, so in the U.S. it's not necessarily a mortgage broker. They're called cross-border mortgage advisors. And they help the client. They'll tell them exactly up front, this is what we need right now. And this is what we're going to do. And this is the next stage. And the clients upload everything. And when they close, we then, again, now this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to, what we can do. And another thing that I need to stress here is that we offer U.S., again, here's the word, domiciled mortgages, not foreign.
At least we know what that word means
right,
now.
not foreign loans.
Yeah.
So here's the difference. We're all foreigners. And when you and I go down to the U.S., and sometimes there's promos at those banks that are, Canadian-based signs, but they offer foreign loans, and there's a difference. Mm-hmm. So a foreign loan, to have a U.S. domiciled mortgage, you need to have U.S. income, U.S. Social Security, U.S. address. No, not for RBC. You can have either or.
You guys are the only ones that do this?
Yes. So we are pre-approving you using your Canadian credit as well as any other incomes you have worldwide. We take that in consideration for our total debt ratio. So we are pre-approving you on that. So now, pre-approved, everything's great. Do I get a 3-year or 5-year? We offer 3, 5, 7, 10. The amortization you can't change, but it's to our benefit because it's 30 years. It's helping with that payment amount. Mm-hmm. But when you say to your client, just go for the best rate. Go for the best rate that you can get. The reason being is there's no pre-penalty. Mm. You can pay that off anytime. So when you're like, what do you mean I can pay that off anytime? There's no pre-penalty. So go for the best rate.
That's good to know.
Because it kills you. Because right now, we look at this environment that we're in. And again, I'm not here to talk about rates, but I'm going to just give you an example. In Canada, we have variable and fixed rates. So variable, the bank makes its profit through the interest on a monthly basis. And that's why it's a little higher. The fixed is a little better, and the interest is calculated semi-annual. Right? But there's a pre-penalty to all that. In the U.S., they're called ARMs. So they're fixed rates, but they work like just a variable.
Mortgage, yeah.
Yes, where the interest, and that's where I explain it to them. And
that's my mortgage through RBC.
Well, because we don't offer foreign loans, other banks offer the foreign loans. There's a premium attached to it. We do not have foreign exchange. We do not have foreign premiums. So you might get a 5%. And that bank gave you one at let's say 4.75, and we gave 5. I'm giving examples, which is not the rates, and don't quote me on that. But you go to the other bank, and the other bank adds 2%, and it's on our marketing that'll show you. We don't add that because we're not giving you a foreign loan. We're going to give you the best rate based on this. Ready? Based on your credit bureau. How much is your down payment? Where are you investing? The state and county makes a difference. Mm-hmm. And what is the property? Is it going to be a duplex? Is it going to be a single-family home? What's the risk involved to that? And what is like I said, is it investment property or is it personal use? That's what we take in consideration. We actually have a mortgage calculator on our website that clients can see. And they can see, okay, look, I'm going to go buy in Broward County versus Pinellas County in Florida. I'm just giving you the example. Mm-hmm. Wow, a single-family home for $500,000 versus $500,000 here. The rate is a little different. Why? Because every county has its own risks.
And you can get this calculator on your right on the website? Right
on the website. So they can play around with it.
Good.
All right, so
let's check it out.
Let's check it out.
I like it.
So you can play around with it, and you can see it. So sometimes you're looking at developments. We work with many developments like Lennar Anatomy that we've worked with, and you can actually see that it makes a difference. Because clients will say, well, why is it that Bob got a better rate than myself? I have a better, I'm actually using this for personal use. He's using it for investment. I have a better credit score. He has less. I'm putting more down payment. While the county and that you bought in is actually more at risk.
You'd go to the international banking, right?
I go to RBC Bank,
US. Cross-border banking.
Yep. Go into mortgages. And so you see everything there, which talks about it. And again, this is a great resource to have the client look at it. But our clients are going to be speaking to our cross-border mortgage advisor that will give them an idea, and they'll pre-approve them at the 3-year rate, just like on the Canadian side, just to give them an idea. But once they find the property, that's when they'll finalize what the rate will be, because then you'll have the zip code of where it's at.
Yeah. Regarding if can a Canadian build credit in the United States?
Ooh, I love that question.
Yeah, right?
Okay, so here's the right answer. To establish credit in the United States, you do need 3 U.S. domicile credit cards, and a full credit bureau also means that you need a Social Security to have that in U.S. income. Well, as a Canadian, how do you do that? Well, how do you get a U.S. credit card without having a Social Security, U.S. income, and U.S. address? Well, I did that. And cross-border banking offers it. Why? Because we are able to do that attestation. We know it's called that KYC, know you're Canadian, as I like to say it. We know, so we can say, okay, yes, Mike, we know you're good to go. Here's your credit card. And again, it's giving you credit, but it's not establishing a credit bureau in the U.S.
Yeah.
To have that, you need it. But how do you get it? You get the first one through us. After that, then you can look, and what I also often recommend, my son went to school in the U.S., is start utilizing it. Because even to get a cell phone, I don't know if you've had that experience, try go to AT&T, go to any of those affiliations. They will ask for that credit card, and they'll look at, if you don't have any established credit.
You pay a heavy deposit.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to do that, right? I was able to do that by opening up the cross-border.
Is it building a FICO score, though?
The FICO score will start to be built, even when you get a U.S. mortgage, it will start to be built once you have an address in the U.S.
What about the SSN? Do you need the SSN?
No, you do not.
Interesting.
So I have a FICO score, I don't have that. So it's a general one, but again, I have to be cautious because it's not a full credit score, right? It's not saying you have this amazing credit. It is a FICO score and will help you with other things.
What camera went there?
Right? Especially from when clients are looking, look, I need to establish credit. Well, we're going to get you a U.S. domicile mortgage. We're going to have you have a U.S. credit card. Once you have the credit card attached to the U.S. address, and remember, revolving credit is always 6 months plus, then you can then look at establishing credit, getting another credit card. So makes it easier.
I love that. I think that's amazing. Even just the credit cards alone, even if Canadians don't plan on buying even real estate, they can always just get a few credit cards as well. If it even helps in the future to get credit score, I think it's a great opportunity as well. Even if they're traveling, right? I think it's always good to have a U.S. dollar.
Even to plan ahead.
So there's something else. How many of your clients also travel? I know we're talking about the U.S., but clients that travel overseas, travels to the Bahamas, to the Caribbean, to Europe.
Yeah.
You should always carry 2 credit cards.
I agree.
A Canadian U.S. And you know what? There's no foreign transaction fees on our U.S. credit card.
Insane.
Right? So you're saving on that. Because remember, Visa runs on U.S. currency. So when you and I get our Canadian credit cards and we see our statement that we went to Europe or we have a heart attack and looking at the exchange, but it runs because it goes from country of currency to Visa, which is U.S., and that's 1.5. And then it goes from U.S. to country of currency of your credit card. And if you have just a Canadian one, it's 2.5. The fee is embedded in there. And then you look and wow, the bank made it's 1.67. I thought the rate was 1.4. Yeah, but again, that's what Visa put through. Having a cross-border Visa, especially our premium one, we are alleviating all those fees. So it goes from country of currency to U.S. at 0 foreign transaction fee.
I'm going to get a few. I actually applied for a commercial credit card now because of our business we've been running everything off our personal one, right? Because we have a Social Security clearly, but it was not building credit. And I'll talk about it because that's through TD Bank. And it wasn't building credit until I called them and told them I got my Social Security. So I must have been $400,000 or $500,000 on that. I had to run the businesses over the last 4 years.
Yeah, you didn't need that. You just needed to put it to a U.S. Address that you're attached to.
I had to actually physically call TD and then also go to the branch. And then they had to provide the SSN, and then it started creating a FICO score. But now, like, my credit score is not the greatest because it's probably been about a year and a half now in the making. But we ran so much money through there. It's just building the businesses over the last 4 years, and it got lost in notifying. Right? And again, we're applying for a commercial one now because I need to separate my personal, from commercial. It's always did that in Toronto, right? So I think we should talk also maybe off air or whatever, just like how to figure out to build a system. How are you guys with ADP and all that? Is it all easy peasy?
It's easy.
QuickBooks.
Yes.
We usually get rejected by TD.
So
Kicks us out
again,
every month.
the business
It's like
banking
every established
aspect,
account.
we have dedicated business banking individuals, advisors that will talk and navigate. So we don't just pass the client along. When you actually, when you're looking at the business aspect of it, you have one contact that will help you every step of the way. They'll even show you how to link it to the Canadian system if you wanted to move from Canada to US. They will navigate you every step of the way.
I love it.
Now, for the credit cards, that's where we connect you with City National for the business banking on the credit card aspect. Right, so that'll help.
So Treviso Realty would be with City Banking, or it could still be with RBC?
Both.
Both, okay.
Whether you're looking for credit, then City National?
No, I think it's just establishing the commercial credit card, because I didn't threaten, but I told a TD guy, branch manager in Estero, Dukins, I said, if I can't get a commercial credit card, I have to change banks.
Yeah.
Because I can't have it. It's just too complicated. I got my bookkeeper, like a part-time bookkeeper now. It's
and
like,
you cannot,
what's a personal, what's not? You're running.
And I need to state, and I mean, put this on the record, is that in Canada, when you are using your Canadian credit card to do business, you can itemize it, share it to your accountant and divide it. You cannot do that in the US. There's the compliance aspect. It should be business is business, personal is personal. And if you end up using your personal through cross-border, they'll stop it. It'll
I got to
closed,
separate.
right?
I mean, now it's been, but I've never had the opportunity because they rejected the commercial one in the past.
Not through
because
us,
it was,
yes.
Yeah, through TD.
Yeah.
And it was, because obviously it was, we weren't building credit with the other way we were doing it because we had to apply the SSN to the credit card. So now we should be fine. So they actually called me today just to figure that out.
So now you have a full credit bureau because you have a SSN. I don't have an SSN. So I do have a FICO score. It does show that. It shows all the ones that have been there, right?
Yeah.
So RBC's there. You see my other ones as well there. So I do have a score.
That's all you need.
Right, it's not a full. It even says there because I don't have that.
Yes, I said, but at least you're establishing credit already.
Correct.
So now, if a U.S. company wanted to check in, they can still see.
Correct.
See
Especially as a business owner, they want to do that.
course.
Check that who you are and making sure everything's okay. You have that support.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's exciting. Thank you.
It's amazing.
Do you,
Great information.
Yeah, amazing. I think this podcast will do really well because it's a wealth of information. Did you want to add anything to maybe how to reach you? Would probably be a good idea. Well, I mean, we'll have your information tagged to the post. This will be through.
My ask is, I support the Greater Toronto region. I don't want anything to ever fall through the cracks, and I'm being very honest, is if they are contacting you, please, a quick introduction through email is the best way, and then I will ensure that they are connected with the right individuals, because I do not open these accounts. I connect you with the right individuals, the branches, the branch managers, and I'll assure that they have that white glove service.
You got us. I mean, like I said, you're part of our, as soon as the client does a deal, we have a series of emails automatically templates. So I don't know if your number, there's series through 1 through 6. I don't know where you are in there, but it's in order of.
Thank you.
So you're
Thank
there. We really appreciate you. I think it's going to be a great partnership going forward. I'm really excited.
I look forward to it.
It's awesome. Yeah. I mean, you're the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.